personally, like, kids didn't have mobile phones in 1999 when I started secondary school. Now you walk up to any secondary school gates and every kid is going to have a smartphone with cameras, with social media accounts, with this, with that. And they're taking on information all the time, and they're taking on all of these things and shaping their view of the world through what they're learning through their phones, through their, you know, connections in school. Yet we're not teaching them or showing them how to deal with that and manage it, and how to speak about it, understanding why self-love is important, understanding what mental health is, you know. But we're being taught Pythagoras' theorem, which no one has ever used outside of a classroom, apart from, you know, an elite 1% of people who are scientists.
Pythagoras himself.
Yeah, and Pythagoras himself. So it's just like, it's mental to me. And it's like, I just feel like
I do know what you mean.
you know,
Yeah. And I think what you're saying is, it's tricky because obviously the curriculum has developed, but the subjects have remained very stagnant.
mm-hmm.
And so on one hand, there's so much that we're not being taught that we should be, like the reforms that include this mental health education also include elements of how to be safer online,
Yeah.
which was very lacking. Also include appropriateness in terms of like not taking naked images of yourself and sending them around, because so many kids fall victim to that. It's a peer pressure that thankfully I can't really relate to because I wasn't going through that. But the peer pressure was enough with what we had, let alone then the whole internet elements of it. And even within the subjects that are more stagnant, you know, I think I do love maths, but maths also needs to develop more. You know, there are, you're right, a lot of areas of algebra that don't really relate to our day-to-day life unless you go into that field. But also there's so much stuff that maybe we don't need to spend as much time on anymore.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of maths because I have a calculator.
Yeah.
Or when I worked in retail, it told me how much change, you know. Yeah. On one hand, I'm glad to have the maths I do, but I don't need to have perfect like mental arithmetic. I can be a bit sketchy around that because the ways in which we approach this have changed.